No shake. I told y'all niggas I was coming. Yep. I got a white spot for dimes and neck, trap spot for selling more hoes and scripting. Give me flow. I got this master plan to get by, ain't trying to get over. It's time to do me. Deleting is over. I took a whore to a race, couldn't make him drink. So I picked out the scale. I'm crabs in the bucket. I sleep with both eyes open. Niggas can't be trusted. Is it hard to bust us? Catch the turkeys with the mustard. Ain't no back door, front doors get knocked down. Money be my motor. Want an issue, we can go down. And that's how it sound. Whoever want a toe tag. 22 your stomach, that's a guaranteed shit bag. Talking out your neck, eating steak through a straw. And your dog can get it too, cause the clip hold a few. Nah, jump on the dick. This Chevy outside. Wanna drive over, nigga, we can buy. Guess what, nigga? You can get it right now. You can get it right now. Yep, you can get it right now.
Welcome to Getting Rich Off Mondo. My name is Edward Randall, and today we're going to discuss Grand Theft Auto 5 and why we feel it's the best game to ever be made for the consoles. So far, it would be the #1 game, in my opinion. Now, Grand Theft Auto came out in 2013, and so far, up to date, it sold 70 million copies at $60 a pop, which is $4.2 billion. And some of the figures that I have, Xbox One, 7 million copies, PS4, 15 million. I think that number would be that everybody tends to go to the PlayStation 4. And, you know, I've been playing Xbox ever since the original first one, which was probably the best as far as durability and construction. You know, a lot of people online, very seldom do you see anybody use an Xbox One to do, you know, the little video game channels and stuff like that. And also, the free DLC, while everybody else is trying to figure out a way to rip you off for $15 a month, Call of Duty, or you just absolutely simply lazy like 2K series where we're not going to even offer you any DLC. You know, this is a breath of fresh air. You know, like once a month they've been updating the online gaming with all sorts of DLC. We've had Lowrider DLC, we've had the Biker Club, we've had this last one, the gun running, and then we had all the drug distribution, you know, the crystal meth, the cocaine, the marijuana, and we had the money laundering, and also the counterfeit money operation, just to name a few, with all of them being very, very interesting and in-depth. You know, I give them all the credit in the world on how they approached the overall total product, which is excellent. But then, you know, with all good things, there are still some little mice in the system. Now, one of the things that's a serious problem is the laggy servers, and these servers can be very laggy. Now, I know that for a long time I was dealing with certain scenarios and issues and not having a open NAT. I was behind a port symmetric NAT, closed NAT, whatever the fuck that is. Nobody could explain that to me, not even the people at the cable company. You know, you call them, they don't know what the fuck you're talking about. They just had to call Microsoft, and if you call Microsoft and you're not trying to spend no money, you know, good fucking luck. But their servers are absolutely shitty. I don't know who's got shittier servers, 2K or Rockstar. But see, the problem is you wait, you're in a lobby, then the mission gets launched, then it says that there aren't enough people in the mission and you get kicked, or you just can't find anybody reliable to play with. And you know, you could be on there all day long and not actually get into something where you can make some money. And then, you know, there's always somebody that takes particular joy in fucking up the mission by using all the lives or killing themselves or shooting you or, you know, blowing up something or leaving the match or whatever. I mean, I've experienced it all in the little bit of time that I spent playing. And, you know, once upon a time I had $1 billion account. But, you know, some sourpuss, you know, decided that he was going to fucking report me, you know, for no reason at all. I wasn't harming anybody. I was never online getting bad reputation. Like, you know, I wasn't out here killing people and driving on the sidewalks and all that type of shit that people do on the game. You know, to just continuously blow you up and explode you, you know, over and over and over again. You know, something else that I didn't like is, you know, your ability to not be able to join a party. Now, I haven't opened that now for the first time in like 2 years. And I was, you know, I was really upset about it because I was figuring that it had something to do with an Xbox hardware, which I'm probably sure is an issue or the issue. So with it being like that, I'm like, well, maybe I'll get a PS4 Pro, or I'll get the new Xbox S or whatever. I mean, I'm due for a new console here because, you know, this Xbox One that I have now, it's on a suicide watch, so to speak. You know, the fan is very verbal in it at times. You know, very verbal. I mean, you think a fucking Cessna's fixing to take off in here. But something else that I didn't like also were the spawn locations. Like, you know, maybe it's just me, or is it like every time you get killed you would be further away from where you were at, you know? While people are, you know, I mean, it's like actual life. You know, the actual gameplay and the decisions that people make towards your character. Like, you know, people are pretty abrasive and rough, you know, towards people they don't even know, you know. And people just purposely following you around to destroy your goods or stuff like that. I mean, that's what it's about, you know. It's being able to secure the loot or the stash or whatever you're trying to steal and get it back to your home base of operations without being killed. So that's part of the game, but some people, you know, make it their fucking their purpose to just destroy you. And it's all fun and games. But, you know, there were some other things too that made the online portion of the game upsetting. And that was having to rely on other online players to progress on your own online character, which was upsetting, to say the least, because, like I say, everybody doesn't play fair. And then, like, when you run across a group of fellas that are, you know, playing well and playing with the aggression that you need to complete the missions, it's like you can never go back and join them later. Like the next day, you want to, you know, I need to make $100,000 because I got like 55,000 or 60,000 bucks worth of utility bills in a game day cycle for the properties and the employees, which is pretty costly. I mean, because your character is not required to go to sleep or, you know, to catch a nap, so to speak, and then that would let you know, like, maybe I need to stop here because I don't feel like doing anything else and I'm not going to progress, and the day is going to run up and I'm going to have to spend 60,000 bucks again to pay for my utilities, which is not fun, you know. To go along also with the repair on the vehicles and stuff like that, you know, the bashing of your vehicle. And when you put it back in the garage, when you go look at your bank statements, it'll say that they've been taking the money out. Now also, I kind of feel like, you know, they could have put a casino in it. Maybe they'll put one in the next one. I mean, they got a strip club and all this type stuff, you know, but they don't have a casino, you know, where you have an ability to go gamble and try to, you know, like in real life, you know, sometimes you gotta, you know, hey, I gotta take these chips down here to the old riverboat and see if we can hit it big. But at least I know where the money's going. I'm losing it myself personally, not them nitpicking all through the game, taking money from me, because the shit on there is expensive, just like real life. Some of the stuff is very expensive, you know, and I know a lot of people turn the game on and be like, shit, man, ain't no way in hell. because you can't actively get matches. I mean, maybe in bigger markets and bigger cities and stuff like that, where you might have a lot more people on better servers, then there might be better gameplay. But I know, what we're dealing with here are some shitty server type scenarios, and that's on a daily. And it's so confusing. Like, once you purchase some property or a home, that you really can't sell it. They need a system where you could put this stuff on the open market. Like, if there's a house next door to it and it's empty, and let's just say that it's $2 million, then you could sell yours for 1.2, so you could get off of it, because you need that money back. I don't see why that's such a big problem. You need to recoup some of that money, because when you buy these things, they've got all these different options, this, that, and the other. And you select these things like that. The base price on a house might be $1 million. But then when you go in and fix the living room and the garage and the this and the that and the decoration and the decor, then you might be up to $2.5 million. So you're going to take a loss anyway, but you're taking a serious loss, because it seems like to me like the only way that you can sell a property is to trade it in on a property of lesser value, and then they kind of give you what they feel like is a difference, that they feel you should get for it. So, and also, like the player health and stuff like that. Like, if they had a sleep cycle and you didn't take advantage of it, and at least put your player in a bed and let them morph him to the next day, then your player should be easier to kill. If you're just running through day cycles continuously, like I don't know, I don't play it all day like I would some things, because something's gonna happen, and I don't record it too tough either, because eventually you're gonna get kicked out of the lobby due to connection issues or a malfunction with their shitty servers. I don't know what kind of servers they're using, but fuck, if they made $4 billion, they should have the most absolute best servers available for this game. And that's a issue with every game. Servers. I don't know if they make the servers for whatever, but every game has an issue. Call of Duty, the Parks, and 2K. That's all I really play, so I wouldn't be too familiar with how Destiny or Fallout works or stuff like that. I do remember reading an article on how the people who designed Destiny were doing the internet signals, instead of doing like Call of Duty, where they would flatten yours out to make a better interaction with somebody with a signal of lesser power. Destiny just came right out and said, hey, if this guy's got 100 megabytes and this guy's got 20, then of course the 100 megabyte is going to win, which makes sense to me. It's not fair that somebody could have AT&T dial-up, with 5 megabytes, and I got 100, but the game flattens it out so he has an opportunity to kill me. That doesn't make any fucking sense. That's like being at the racetrack and they're going to give the other guy 6 goddamn cars or something, That doesn't make any fucking sense. But, with the money they made, I think, they would be able to take care of that. Now, I'm going to talk about what we would like to see out of Grand Theft Auto 6, being new features and things like this. Now, something that really bugs me about 5 that they can fix in 6 and make everyone happy is there need to be a 1-car garage. It doesn't make any sense that I got these 3 different garages with 20 cars in them, and I've got cars scattered all through Los Santos and Blaine County and all these different little homes and houses. I'll just riding around and stop at a house, be like, oh damn, there's that car. I knew I had one, or I knew I had 3 of them, and here they are in this particular house. There needs to be one central location, 100-car garage, whatever the hell you got. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense that you have all these cars spread out all over the place, and it's hard to keep up with what your inventory is. There's not even an inventory list, a total. Also, some of the people that do the mods are very creative, and I know I've seen one mod where they had a mansion, and I thought to myself, that would be a lot better. And then you could like build the mansion up, or the land. Like if you wanted those little shops and stuff like that, you could maybe have them on your property, or have, where you could come on to the backside of the property to the businesses and stuff like that, or just whatever. You could have maybe a golf thing on your property, or you could have basketball courts or whatever. But a mansion would allow you to have all this stuff in one place, instead of having all these multiple properties, which I bought them all. I bought as many properties as I could. Now I regret it, because I'm just kind of stuck with all these properties that I can trade in on pennies on the dollar. Now, for 6, what I would like to see is the ability to have artificial intelligence for the workers. Like you could hire one person, and then he could manage the business, and like maybe like when you pay him, if you have the money to pay him, then he can extract more from the business and you make more. So I'm just saying, like if you had to pay him, $2,000 a week to run a business, but you have the ability and the option to pay him maybe $4,000 and $6,000 and $8,000 and $10,000, right? Like if I give him $10,000, then this is what he can get out of the work crew. Or if I expand the overhead, then he can hire more people. But then all of this having to run and fucking manage each business is tiring, and it's boring too. To just continuously have to go from one business to another. You should have a thing where these people come to report to you. I mean, if you're the big don, if you're the baller, then these people should come report to you, and they should be like, hey, this is a scenario. We need either more employees, or we need more overhead, or we need more money, or we need more equipment, whatever the business may be. And then you can make a decision, right then, to either put back into your business, or say, we'll keep it where it's at, and have the ability to have a bodyguard. I mean, there's nothing worse than fucking coming out of the little convenience store, getting you some cigarettes or some egg sandwich, and then you get slapped in the fucking mouth by somebody hiding behind the damn ice machine, or there's somebody, just all sorts of scenarios where I need somebody to bust for me first. I think that would be neat if you had a bodyguard. Just somebody that rode with you, looked scary as hell, And I forget which Grand Theft Auto had the weights, where I think it was CJ, but you could lift weights and your player had the ability to be swole, and that would be something that you would have to keep up the health of the player, or your player gain weight, from not exercising or whatever. If you never get out of your car to physically combat people and stuff like that, maybe your player catch a pudge or something, or a six-pack disappear. You start getting fat. You go to the gym. They should have all that shit. Gym memberships, all that shit. Okay. Now, the ability to be able to sell anything you buy. Be able to sell it. Put it on an open market, or be able to sell it to another person online. Just think about how that would open doors. I mean, we already know that they're not complete video game vultures with the free DLC, but allow me to be able to sell some of this stuff to a character, or maybe he could work it off, right? Like, for example, when they started the motorcycle clubs, and people didn't have motorcycles, so who wants to be in a motorcycle club if they can't even have a motorcycle? But I had the motorcycle shop and all that stuff full of motorcycles and four-wheelers and shit, and I had all kind of stuff, so if this person works for you, then you could set a price, and then they could work and do missions and stuff like that till they got the money. But let's just say the particular motorcycle is 60 grand brand new, but he could do a mission for you. He only needed 40,000. So he does missions and stuff. I mean, it's 20 grand cheaper, and that's going to save you. I mean, think about it. From 40 to 60, all the other missions that you would have to do to gain that money. So, and then it's a form of being able to help people, or at least make it where people could use your motorcycles and cars and stuff. I mean, what the fuck? You got a motorcycle gang, and you can't even let other people, use some of the equipment that you got? Something. Let's be flexible here. If you want people to play together, then you have to open up the avenues to make it easier. So when money is just not the, or at least where you could give somebody something, once a month, you could give somebody some money, or gift them a certain amount of, like up to $250,000 or something, or whatever. The ability to gift. Like players ask you, I always ask players, do you need some help? Because I've got everything. I've got all of the DLC, and, but nobody's really interested in it. And then the people that are interested, they are noobs in the sense that it's really hard for them to survive. I mean, if you got a guy, he's a 32, I'm thinking, what am I, almost a 500 or something? I might not be the best player, but I do know how to stay alive, and I do know how to get from A to B and from B to A again against the online world itself. Now, the game needs car lots. I mean, it needs a place where you can go look at cars and test drive them or whatever. They need to have car lots. Instead of, you having to go down and look in the online on your phone to see from the various lots what they have new. Because for some reason, when I'm looking at that list of cars and as it goes up, it makes my head feel funny. I mean, it's like, I don't know if it's giving me vertigo or something, or what's happening, but as the list moves up and I'm looking at it, it fucks with my eyes. So I tend not to go to it, unless I have to. But it's uncomfortable, and I don't know if it's got to do with my crunchy eyesight, or that's just how that particular thing would make you feel. And there needs to be online jobs. I mean, everything doesn't have to be of the criminal element, I mean, just some sort of work that a character can do when he first gets there. Give him the ability to choose between being a criminal fuck or being an upstanding citizen in the game. Give him the opportunity to choose. Like, if you're a 1, then you don't even have a play. I mean, shit, I remember when I first started playing it online, it was hell just trying to acquire a residence. I mean, a damn Fleabag shithouse was fucking 40 grand. And you're making, $500, $1,000 a mission and stuff like that. Shit. Everybody needs a central base to start from. I mean, you just basically getting off a plane and, doesn't make too much sense. But online jobs for the players, I mean, if everything else fails, let's just say, your business fails, or your activities online fail, or you can't find reliable people to do missions with, then you should have the ability to get a job and work. You know, like it might ask you, like, you know, like when you're logging on into the game, do you want to go straight to work, or do you want to, you know, just join online regularly and make the decision once you get in there? Sort of like on NBA where you can go straight to the park. They made that an option on NBA 2K, but I hate the parks because they're shitty, laggy servers. Now, something else that I thought would be very interesting was gas stations for these cars. You know, I mean, like maybe tires too. You know, the health of the vehicles. I mean, because, you know, let me see where the money's going. I mean, like, they got a dashboard and all this stuff, so you should have a gas gauge too. You know, maybe some sort of wear on the vehicle that would, you know, like oil change, stuff like that. Just because, like I say, when you don't see where the money's going, it's kind of hard to understand their system, because I don't ever remember them really saying that all that stuff will be happening with the garage when you brought the cars back. And also the, you know, the need for the casino, where you could work in a casino, you know, dealing cards or something. I mean, there's things that you can do, and there ought to be ways where you can make legit money versus always having to be a criminal, or the criminal aspect of having to rob people and stuff like that. But probably what would be good too is police station, where since everybody online is a criminal, then what you should be able to do is you should be able to log on and go to the police station, and all of the current online players, you just pick a file and, you know, start staking them out, follow them, and attempt to arrest them and subdue them. I think that would be really fun, where you could come online and you could be a cop, you know, with a patrol car, or you could be a detective, or maybe even ambulance. Maybe they could even put doctors in there, hospitals and stuff like that, where maybe you could be a doctor. Like, let's make it where you could be some other stuff on here too, like real businessmen, mogul, you know, like maybe software giant, or, you know, other real life things that they could incorporate into the game. All these different things and scenarios and stuff like that. Record companies and stuff like that, and just all these different sort of real life businesses that, you know, where you could have something like restaurants and stuff like that, you know. I mean, I know that 6 is going to be mind-blowing when it does come out. So, we know that they're listening. That they're listening to their community. And they're reading everything. You know, as of this taping, they had shut down 3 or 4 of the mods. The people who were making the mods. And they were saying that they were only using them in single player. But, you know, people were using them online too. But it's just like with anything. I mean, I don't have anything against modders, you know. I mean, of course, they could ruin your gameplay or your gaming experience for a session or something, or a lobby. But so can all of the other players too. They can ruin your game just by being assholes, like killing themselves during the mission, or making it where the mission fails. They know exactly what to do, like turn their game off or whatever. Just all a little slick shit that they know how to do to disrupt the service. How about those people? How about making it where if you turn your Xbox off in the middle of a mission, that you can't log back on for 48 hours, that you can't play online, you know? All this type stuff where they make it difficult to play. But you just can't blame modders and say, oh, you know, modders do this, you know, modders do that. When, how often do you run across a modder? And then, do you even know it's a modder? Really? Also, what I think needs to happen is, there need to be racetracks. You got all these motorcycles, you have all these cars, and you know, you have limited ability in fixing them up. Maybe they could expand like the engines and stuff like that. But you need a racetrack because we got all these cars. We got hypercars. We've got these drag bikes. We have all these other different vehicles that, you know, sleepers, all types of shit, you know, just like in real life. All these vehicles, and there's not a quarter-mile track to race them on with a damn tree. And a half-mile, and maybe a mile track, you know? I mean, of course, just like, you know, everybody like, oh, go to the airport. And just like on Forenza, you have to go to the airport. Does that make any fucking sense? To me, that doesn't make any fucking sense. That you have to go to the airport to drive the car fast. Or have a strip where you can race and not have to worry about running into other traffic and stuff like that. I think that makes zero fucking sense. When you watch online, get on YouTube and watch people with the fucking Ferraris and the damn the Nissan GTRs and stuff, they're racing on the expressways of America. You know? That's what they're doing. They're out there going 200 in a fucking hellcat on the damn interstate. So that would be more realistic than the damn airport, because nobody has access to the fucking airport except Richard Hammonds and them, and James May, and Jeremy Clarkson. Maybe they can get the airport shut down or a strip of it, but us regular folks, we don't have no access to no goddamn airport strips to see who the fuck's got the fastest damn car. So I think that there should have racetracks. Formula One, NASCAR, drag. You know, they got motorcycles, so there should be dirt tracks and stuff like that. I mean, I know that in these games somewhere, I don't know if it was the last one. I think the last one, it had bar and racetracks and stuff like that, if I'm not mistaken. You know, but 6, that's what it needs. It needs the things that can make your online experience better. And like I say, it's so frustrating to have all of these damn businesses stealing cars, every single drug thing, gun running, all of this shit. But they want their damn daily fucking utilities. They want that. But having to run in between all of these different businesses and trying to keep them afloat becomes, it's a burden. It's truly a burden. It takes all the fun out of the game. But like I say, if they had some AI, then I can just hire somebody, and then like what you pay them is how your business is ran. So if you don't pay this guy shit, then your business at the end of the week, the returns are shit. And if you're giving this guy everything he needs, then your business be top flight, and it should grow, and it should have levels. There's levels to everything. And that would be wonderful. Or the ability to just say, hey, I don't want to be a mogul, or I don't want to be a drug dealer or a crack dealer, or I don't want to sell Oxycontin to school kids. Then make it where you can get a job online. Have online jobs. I mean, shit. The city is full of all sorts of businesses and stuff like that. You know, you can work at the airport. You know, all these different things. I know they're going to have a lot more expansion in 6. And 6 is going to have... I heard that they were going after the whole, like, United States type scenario where you could go to different states. And I mean, the game realistically, I don't even think it's due till 2020. You know? We don't even know if the world will be here in 2020. That's a long time. But maybe just some of these things they could incorporate. Like, just we need some help with the businesses. I mean, like, you have the assistant. Why can't you pay her? Like when you go to your business, your corporate building, you have an assistant. You pay her, she doesn't do a goddamn thing. Why can't you pay her to maintain the cocaine business and the counterfeit business and, you know, whatever other storefronts or whatever you got popping? Why can't you pay her to manage the shit? Or why can't she, you know, you give her the instructions and she hires other people to manage it and you give her the money so she can manage it, and then it results in better paychecks because you have income coming from all your sources. You know, you go back to your drug things and everybody's standing the fuck around. There's no supplies. There's no product. Where the fuck did it go? Where did it go? So you mean to tell me when I log on and play online and I don't go to the business that it all evaporates or dissolves, but the people are still there collecting the fucking money, but there is no business? I mean, I just at least give the option where the business itself, you could just put the money into the business. The people are already there. They don't never leave. So there should be some goddamn product. I should never pull up on the damn business and there ain't no product. What the fuck y'all in here doing? Collecting money every damn 24-hour game day life cycle, but you're standing around in here. There's no product. There's no supplies. You know? Like I said, there should be a system for that where the business is operating truly like a business. You know, you come into your business, you know, you sign a couple of documents, you know, they put some files on your desk, you yay this, you nay that, you know, then you order your shrimp. You know, you go down to the country club and eat with all the rest of the fat cats. They should make it where the people in the game get to come in contact with each other. You know, in a civil manner, not in a I'm blowing you up and chasing you around the map because your car is nice, or you got some shit I don't have, so I want to wreck your day and chase you around and blow you the fuck up. They should have a scenario where, like, you know, the country club and all that stuff, or the VIP when you go to the strip club, so you can run into these other players that are like-minded. You know, I mean, it's just like real life. You know, that's what they're trying to portray here. So let's put these people where they can meet each other. And then what you'll see is, you know, if you run into somebody that's got something that you don't, maybe you could incorporate and play together and be partners. Like, what if you could be online partners with somebody? Like, if a guy's got a successful weed thing and I got a successful coke thing, you know, maybe we want to merge those two businesses and share the responsibility, the woes and the debt, and of course the good times and the paper. You know? I mean, I'm not saying that none of this stuff is on the table for them and they don't think like this, but, you know, this game just continuously gets better. It gets better and better. But, you know, the servers are a huge issue because the server can terminate your gameplay with an instant. And it's kind of hard to get back on sometimes and stuff like that. So, you know, but the game is well worth the trouble. And that's why I think that Grand Theft Auto 5 is the best game ever. And the only thing I could see taking that crown away from 5 would be 6. Right? That could be the only thing. I mean, you know, I don't know how much better the actual graphical content can get as we venture down into 4K consoles with 4K resolution, and already I see on the horizon 8K, which for those that don't know would be 8 1080p screens, not overlapping on top of each other, but 8 individual screens, kind of like, you know, Jerry Jones's huge that display they have down there where the Cowboys play, which I think at the time when it was built was the biggest display of its kind. Some ridiculous number, like I think like 1,200 52-inch screen TVs that are all, I would guess, 1080p or maybe 4K, and they're all playing, you know, in unison, but they're playing their patch, so to speak. So, you know, I'm not really concerned about the graphics because I think it looks excellent, you know, but I know they're going to improve on it. But I'm saying that they shouldn't, you know, waste so much effort in, you know, the graphical content because it looks good. I'm just saying, don't put every fucking developer on that. You know, let's try to figure out how to make the city dwelling and the daily activity, we want it on an addictive level to where you know, like the same with the single player. How the single player just had you, you know, not wanting to turn it off, and then when you did turn it on, you're like, oh, I can't wait to get back to play it and see what's next and stuff like that. I mean, you know, when they process and do that stuff and then they come up with a total for it and it's like 40 hours of gameplay or whatever, that's huge, especially to them. But, you know, to us, we look at it like 40 hours, that ain't shit, dude. You know, maybe we run through 40 hours like it ain't nothing. You know, and they haven't yet offered any single player DLC, which I probably think would be coming sooner than later, because there is, like I say, 6 won't be out till 2019 or 2020. So we got a lot more time to spend with 5 online. And see, the problem is also too that they're trying to get rid of all the modders and the mods, and they're policing it very hard. So I don't think anybody wants an IP suspension from the game, you know, until the next one comes out or whatever. So, you know, we're staying on the legit side of the gameplay. You know, it's rough and it's tough, you know, but I'm figuring like the only people that had that ability to do that were people who used to work there. You know, the guy making 10 and 20 bucks a pop, giving you $1 billion and stuff like that. Shit. They paid his rent many a motherfucking time with that hustle. But why didn't they go after those people? They know who they are. They're all over the fucking Twitter and shit. They're all over it. $10 with a modded thing, but I think, you know, they took care of that when they did it where you couldn't change your character again. I think that was the window they were using, but I'm sure there's another window. There's always a back door, and if there ain't one, you make it. So those are some of the things I think, you know, what they could do with 6 and what we liked about 5 and what we didn't like and what we think that 5 was missing and what they should do with 6. This has been Getting Rich Off Mondo. I'm your host, Edward Randall, and thank you.